Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Hi everyone. Are you ready for our first lecture? Good. Okay, so the title for chapter 1 is a computer system and our subtopic for today is 1.1 system concept. For this chapter, at the end of this lesson, all of you should be able to explain the operation involved in information processing cycle, which is in this processing cycle we have 4 main process. The first one is an input, and then the second one is a process, the third is an output, and the last part is an storage. Alright, and second objective for this topic is students should be able to analyze the use of information processing cycles in today's technology or in our daily life situation. First thing, we have to define what is a computer system. A computer system is a complete working computer which is include an operating system, OS. Then we have a software, and the third part we have a hardware to make the computer function based on definition by Discovering Computers 2018. This is a sample of the complete working computer that we can call as a computer system. We can categorize in four group. The first group is an input devices. The second group is the process devices or component or parts, and then we have an output devices, and we have a storage. As you can see, the blue color is an input devices such as a webcam, keyboard, mouse, and scanner. And for the process, after user enter the instruction into the computer using an input devices, the data or the instruction will be processed by the processor in the system unit. The purple color is a base unit, or we call it a system unit. In the system unit, we have a processor to process all the data and the information. And then we go to the output devices, the red color. We have a monitor, the speaker, a printer. And we have, and here is headset. Headset we can categorize in input and output devices. Because headset we have a microphone as an input devices, and we have a speaker as a output devices. And then we have a green color for the storage. We have the optical disk drive storage and USB flash drive storage. Next, what is actually an information processing cycle? This term you have to memorize. You have to remember the terms, because this statement sometimes come out in our PSPM1. So based on Discovering Computer 2018, information processing cycle is a series of events in processing information which includes input, process, output, and storage activities. So every time computer process a data into information, it must go through the information processing cycle. Next, how to draw the diagram for information processing cycle. This part is also very important, how to draw the diagram. So first thing, the input we must draw in a parallelogram shape. We cannot draw in other shape, only the parallelogram shape for input. And we have an arrow, make sure the arrow is not hanging, must touch to the diagram. And then the next step is a process. Process must put in the rectangle shape, and then followed by the arrow and touch with the diagram for the shape of the output. Input and output must draw in shape of parallelogram. And process must draw in rectangle shape. And then we have a storage, so we have arrow up and down for storage, and storage we draw in cylinder shape. Now we want to describe the terms for each process in information processing cycle. The first one is an input. So the keyword for the input is entering data. Okay, so the terms for the input is a process of entering data. Okay, the keyword here is entering data and instruction into memory of the computer. Next, output. The keyword is a conveying information. Okay, so output is the process of conveying information to the user. Third step is a process which is to transform from input into the output. Okay, based on the diagram, we have input, we have output, and in between we have process. So process is a process of transforming from data, is from the input, into the information, is an output. And a storage, hold data, okay, hold data or instruction and information for future use. Okay, so let's say we save our assignment in our pen drive, so in future we can use back our assignment or any other information that we keep in our pen drive. Okay, that is a storage. Okay, this is one example. Okay, process that we always use in our daily life, which is involved in information processing cycle. Okay, for example, we use a Google Maps. Okay, I'm guarantee that everyone at least have an experience use maps always. Am I right? Alright, so when you touch the apps or you type the location to the apps, means that we already entered the data or instruction into the memory of the computer, of the handphone. And then what happened after that? The processor in our smartphone will process the data, we transform the data into the information, and that information will display on the screen of the smartphone. Okay, that is the general process that involve in information processing cycle. Okay, so that's it for computer system. Okay, we only have to identify, we must define what is computer system, what is an input, what is an output process, and also the storage, and how to draw the information processing cycle diagram. Okay, now how to apply the situation that involve information processing cycle. Okay, based on the scenario 1, which is this question is from PSPN 1 2015-2016. Okay, the question is, there are 4 main steps in information processing cycle. Explains. Okay, explain what are the input, process, output, and storage when you are given information 8 multiplied by 2 equals 16 to be processed. Okay, so that is the situation, how we apply terms input, process, output, storage for that situation. Okay, how to answer this question? Okay, so for the input, computer accept. Input, keyword for input is an accept. So for information processing cycle, when we want to answer the question, make sure we describe based on what the computer do, not what we as a user do. What's the difference computer do and what we do? Okay, look at the first answer, input. Computer accept, that means refer to the what the computer do. But if I write what the user do, maybe I can write user enter 8 and 2. User enter 8 and 2 means you describe based on what user do. But now for this question involve the machine, we have to describe based on what the machine do. That's why the answer is computer accept. So keyword here is an accept. Accept what? So 8 and 2. And then we can elaborate more because the question is to explain. Okay, enter using keyboard into the memory computer. Next, process. Okay, process, the terms maybe what happened to the data. Either the data will be multiplied, will be added, will be calculate. Okay, that is the process. Okay, so 8 and 2 is being multiplied by the processor. Okay, so the keyword here is a multiply. Okay, that will happen to that number. Output, the keyword for the output is a display. So the result of the process means the value 60 will display on the screen. That is the keyword for the output. And keyword for the storage is keep. Okay, keep, store, save. Okay, means what the computer store, what the computer keep. So we have to explain data and result multiplication by 8 by 2 equals 16 are kept in the memory of the computer for the future use. Alright. Okay, look at the next scenario. Okay, scenario 2. This is from PSPN 1 2016-2017. Okay, scenario 2. Okay, Siti needs pocket money and call her father to bank in RM 200 into her saving account. So the main activity is bank in RM 200 into her saving account. Then after that, her father agree and done the transaction. Then she went to the bank Ceria Berhad to withdraw the money. That is the second activity. Okay, her father bank in 200 into saving account, one activity, and another activity is Siti withdraw the money at the ATM machine. So you can choose either you want to explain information processing cycle for based on what her father do or her father activity, or maybe based on what the Siti do. Okay, Siti activity withdraw the money. Okay, so you can choose either situation. And then typing error sure. Okay, actually she received 4 pieces of RM50 notes. Okay, now identify 2 activities involved for process and output. Okay, this question only need 2 explanation of an information processing cycle, which is only for the process and the output. Okay, so look at the tips here. Okay, make sure you have to explain based on what ATM machine done, not the user. Alright. Okay, input. The computer, or maybe you can write the ATM machine accept. Okay, keyword here is an accept. Okay, either you write the computer or you can write the ATM machine accept the PIN number entered by the user through keypad. Okay. Then, okay, so for the input, her father also can use this statement because her father also need to enter the PIN number, and Siti, when she want to withdraw the money, she also have to enter the PIN number. Okay, so for the input, we can use either for her father or for Siti. Okay, process. Actually, the answer only for process and output, but we just discuss all the process and information processing cycle, include input and storage. Okay, so for the process, ATM machine verify password, ATM machine verify username. So the keyword here is a verify. The process is verify. Okay, or calculate balance. Okay, maybe Siti want to withdraw the money, the ATM machine will calculate the balance first. Okay, and also the calculate. Okay, the ATM machine calculate amount of money. So that is the terms that we can use for the process. Okay, next the output. The keyword is a display or dispense or print. Okay, so we can see the menu on the screen, so means display. We can see our balance display on the screen. Okay, that's all is an output. Okay, and we can and we can see that ATM machine dispense money. Okay, so that is also an output, and the receipt. Okay, and last part is the storage. So the keyword for the storage is the save. So the computer will save the user's account balance after the money is withdrawn. Okay, third scenario. Ahmad is travelling from Bukit Jalil. Okay, this question is from 2017-2018. Wow, 3 years, 15, 16, 17. Okay, Ahmad is travelling from Bukit Jalil to Putrajaya. When he reached the Putrajaya toll gate, Ahmad taps his touch and go card on the card reader. Okay, and for this question also need only 2 activities, but the question haven't mentioned which activity, so it's up to us to use either 2 activities in information processing cycle. Okay, so we discuss all the activities: input, process, output, and storage. Okay, for the input, card reader accept. Okay, remember we have to explain based on what the machine do. Okay, what machine done. Card reader accept touch and go card. Code when scan touch and go card. Then card reader read. Okay, also can use the word read. Okay, for the process, verifying touch and go card, or calculate the balance, or calculate amount. Okay, calculate amount to the deduct. Okay, for output, the keyword here is in the display balance. Okay, or we can see that the toll gate barrier open. That is an output. Okay, output means what we can see either on the screen or the physical parts. Okay, so output display error when balance in the touch and go card not enough. Okay, so ini pun display. Okay, storage keyword here is a store balance, keep balance, save. Okay, that's the keyword for the storage. Okay, so we already discussed 3 scenario. Hopefully everyone can relate the input, process, output and storage in the information processing cycle that can relate with the real situation. And remember that use the right keyword and make sure you explain based on what the machine do, not what the user do. Alright, so as a conclusion, keyword for an input, make sure you use the word either accept or read or receive or any other words. Okay, there's only an example. Maybe you can find any other words that we can use for the input. Okay, for process, basically most of the times the keywords that we can use for the process is an verifying, calculate, deduct, multiply, addition, subtraction, division. Okay, output, basically we always use display, show and print. And the storage, okay, we use the keyword store, keep and save. Right? Okay, so that's all for our first chapter 1 for subtopic 1.1. So we are done. Okay, so if any problem, please come and see me or WhatsApp me anytime. Okay? Okay, all the best guys. Bye. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.